Hello and welcome to Super Mario Words, where we talk about random Mario things and rank them.
Hi everybody.
I'm Sen.
And I'm Drew.
And today we're going to be talking about Goombella.
Goombella the Goomba.
Yes. Our good friend from Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. So before we get started, I'll briefly go over what Goombella's deal is. So Thousand Year Door, you go to I can't remember the name of the main town.
Rogueport,
yes. You get a letter from Peach that she found a treasure map, and you go to Rogueport
because that's the only reason you do anything. Letters from Peach.
Yeah. And she's been kidnapped.
Yes,
as usual. And you meet Goombella at Rogueport, and she teaches you about the legend of the mystic treasure and the secret door.
The 1,000-year door.
Yeah, which is in the title.
Yeah.
And she is a archaeology student in college.
Yes.
And she and her professor, Professor Frankly, are there to study the local mythology and stuff.
Which is already more than we usually get, you know?
I guess it wouldn't be local mythology, because that would be anthropology. But the stuff in the
ancient
ground,
cultures,
the stuff in the ground that is connected to the mythology.
Yes,
I definitely know what archaeology is.
It's like Indiana Jones, right?
The people who study the left behind bits of cultures and the people who study dinosaur bones have different names, right?
They do. The latter are called paleontologists.
That's right, paleontologists. Yes. And you shouldn't ask archaeologists about dinosaur bones at parties. That's...
I mean, not unless they personally think dinosaur bones are interesting, which, I mean, I would.
I suppose if you're an archaeologist, you have a higher than normal chance of thinking dinosaur bones are cool, but they aren't your area of study.
No.
Okay, so those are the basics of Goombella. So our first question is, number one, what does her whole deal say about Goomba society as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, this is a Goomba who's in college, who is a scientist, who does a lot of things that we don't associate with Goombas in the games before this, even the ones where they're real characters.
Yeah, most of the RPGs are more inclined to treat enemy species as like characters with their own thoughts and feelings, as opposed to always being generic enemies, although they are also that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Goombella's not an enemy; she's an ally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are generic
Goombas
that appear. That they're just kind of, you know, they're the bad guys who do the bad things.
Yeah, they're like, we're bad guys.
I think that at some point early in the game there are Goombas that catcall Goombella. I think
that makes them especially bad guys.
I do think that happens.
That makes sense.
I'm pretty sure that does occur.
That feels right.
When thinking back to the games that I played as a kid with Mario, the idea that one of these enemies might one day catcall a character is not something I think I would have called. So,
boy, I hope this Goomba I'm jumping on has committed sexual harassment.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Anyway.
So in a lot of ways, I feel like there's a lot more of a mixed society in the RPGs in particular.
Absolutely.
You know, especially Rogueport has different creatures wandering all around and all that.
Oh yeah. There's Koopas walking the streets. There's weirder stuff.
The society in the Mario RPGs is very diverse. Except for the Mushroom Kingdom, which is an ethno-state, but...
No, not allowed.
All right.
Even in our darker interpretations of things, not allowed.
Okay, but I'm not going to let you cut that.
Okay, well, I suppose that's fair.
Because sometimes I just have to be awful.
Oh, Lord.
So, yeah, it does kind of imply that there's a lot of things that work the way that they do in our world. Apparently, Goombella is from Goom U.
Yes.
Goom University. So it is kind of it establishes that Goombas go out and do things just like anybody else.
Yeah.
Although, are there universities in the Mushroom Kingdom? How does this society work? Like, it does appear to be a monarchy.
Yeah, I don't... Shrug emoji? I mean, where even is Rogue? Is that a later question here? Yeah. No, we have Does She Live in Rogueport? Well, where is Rogueport? It says it's a remote island in the Mushroom Kingdom.
It looks like they've sailed far away.
Yeah.
That is the main kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not really super specified. Is it within the Mushroom Kingdom?
It says it's within the Mushroom Kingdom.
Okay. Yeah. The borders of the Mushroom Kingdom are fuzzy. Like,
they are extremely fuzzy.
Sometimes the game seems to like go to different places that aren't the Mushroom Kingdom. Sometimes the Mushroom Kingdom seems small, and sometimes it seems very wide-ranging.
Yeah.
In Super Mario Odyssey, the Mushroom Kingdom is basically just like a lawn that surrounds Princess Peach's castle. I assume it's bigger than that.
Yeah. Interestingly, the University of Goom is never specified to be in the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's, in Japanese, it's California University, which is a pun on California and Karibo, which could mean it's somewhere far away.
That's incredible. I can't believe that we missed out on the chance to have a pun like that.
Right? A lot of the other languages have it named after other famous universities. It's French. It's Université de la Goombourbon.
They could have done better than Goomu.
Yeah,
they definitely could have done.
They really could.
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah,
but if one comes to you, just shout it out.
Harvard for Goombas.
Moving on. So
it's a Lego Batman reference. It's fine.
So here's a question: is how is the Mushroom Kingdom governed? Because it seems like that says a lot about
it's clearly not just Princess Peach,
right? It seems like if Rogueport is part of it, it seems like it's part of a relatively free society.
Yeah, the Rogueport is, the standard kind of disreputable kind of area where you're, it feels a little lawless.
It's like Tortuga,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and basically. Places like that in the real world are usually less less directly overseen by whatever state they theoretically belong to.
I kind of do feel like the more we kind of explore the boundaries of the Mushroom Kingdom, the more that Princess Peach kind of seems like a puppet monarch.
Or like a figurehead.
A figurehead, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she just, goes on vacation in Odyssey and everything just kind of... I think that,
just keeps going without her.
I think that, that Toadette just kind of sits in her place.
Yeah.
Actually.
And I mean, there is one obvious thing we can compare that to, and that is, of course, Japan itself, where the title of the Emperor is not actually any more involved with the government.
But we don't see any other, government bodies.
That's present. True. We don't see, a parliament or a...
Wait. I think it struck me. You realize what this means, right?
What's that?
It means that the Mushroom Kingdom is an anarcho-monarchy. That's canon now.
Best! That is the best.
That's canon now.
Yes.
I'm declaring this canon. The Toads just kind of horizontally organize. And
yes.
They just kind of keep Princess Peach around because why not?
Why not, right? Yeah. Yes, that's great. So they can put her face on the money.
What if Toads have a religious belief in this idea that there's one embodied god who must be taken care of, and so their anarchist society just kind of treats her like a princess, and she doesn't really understand what's going on, but she gets to live in a castle, so she's like, this is fine.
I like that a lot.
as soon as I'm not even gonna wait till this podcast is edited to tell everyone I know that we've determined that the Mushroom Kingdom is an anarcho-monarchy.
Yes,
that is. You can see it. You can't tell me you can't see it.
I absolutely can see it.
Oh
Lord.
So clearly, like Goombella exists in a relatively open society where it's possible for her to get an education.
Yeah.
Now
publicly funded and everything.
Yeah, which makes me wonder, to what degree do like Goombas have to like defect from the Koopa Kingdom?
Ooh, yeah.
Like what are their lives like under King Koopa? Is definitely like a regular monarch.
Yeah, he's just like he is very concerned with ruling, like less concerned than he is with conquering. But you know,
yeah, he's clearly like a kind of military dictator style monarch.
Yeah.
A lot of. To what degree do we see like citizens of the Koopa Kingdom who aren't soldiers?
You know, that's a good question, and I'm not sure. Like, we'd have to look deeper into the RPGs, definitely, because like I'm sure some of them covered that to some degree, even if just in passing. You know?
I don't have any memory of that actually.
Like, how many? God, have you played any of the Mario and Luigi games? Because I know there's some parts of those that are Bowser centric.
I have. But I think those take place in different kingdoms also.
Yeah.
I think the original one takes place in the Bean Kingdom.
Man, that's right, because of the whole Star Beans thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different kingdoms.
There are.
You know what game I want to play?
What's that?
Whatever adventure Luigi has in Thousand Year Door.
Yeah, because that's great.
Have you seen that?
I've played the like early parts of Thousand Year Door.
Yeah, where he is having his own parallel adventure in like the dessert kingdom or something.
Yeah, or the waffle kingdom or something.
Yeah,
maybe it's Princess Waffle.
Something like that. And every single chapter of the game, you can come back to talk to him, and he will explain what he's been doing. And he has his own partner with him, who is clearly really mad at him for some reason. Like all of his partners hate him.
Oh God! Well, now I want to play Thousand Year Door again.
It's such a good game.
Yeah,
and we clearly need to play Paper Luigi.
Yes.
The Adventure of Dessert, or whatever.
Paper Luigi, yes, please.
So yeah, like I think that we can see that although the political structures of the Mario universe are kind of vague, like clearly there are a lot of people living. Honestly, there's a lot going on that clearly just doesn't intersect with Mario or his adventures at all.
Yeah.
That is just kind of people living their lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seemingly in a pretty like open society.
Yeah.
I guess there is still money, but
yeah. I mean, but on the other hand, money is kind of everywhere.
Yeah, it's true. It is kind of on the floor. Money, it's on the floor.
And to be fair, like, yeah, it's weird.
So yeah, I guess opening with a question about society led us in kind of a pretty broad discussion.
Okay, but I think we've at least scratched the surface here.
Yeah. It's hard to say we got off topic because our topic was society, and I think we have kind of an idea. Of you know. Okay, so number 2, our question is, how did she get into archaeology?
And you know, that's interesting.
Clearly, we can see that, like, I mean, she knows a lot about a lot of things. She seems like she's probably kind of well traveled, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Like she's been around. She knows a lot about like the places you visit.
Mm-hmm. And she has a lot of street smarts and a lot of book smarts too.
Is archaeology a subset of anthropology? Because they're both concerned with human culture, right?
Huh. Maybe?
Hold on.
That requires actual Wikipedia, which I do not have up on my phone.
Well, luckily I can pull it up. But yeah, like it's not hard to see.
Oh yeah, it looks like. Archaeology, sidebar, Power of Anthropology.
Yeah, there you go. Like clearly, she probably, if she lives in the area, and we will be discussing that more. But like, clearly, there's a lot of like rich culture and history and like buried shit around this region.
And to be fair, like, if you look at all the other things, there are clearly, like, lots of ruins and ancient buildings and in the other Mario games.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on that someone could become interested in. There's a lot of structures, like, who built the pipes? Were those built by the Mushroom Kingdom? Were they always there? Who made them? It clearly seems like the landscape of the Mario universe is kind of dotted with a lot of man-made or artificial structures.
It's true. There's probably a lot of history to this world, as we've mentioned before.
Yeah, like I'm thinking of like Odyssey, which Odyssey is a good example because it's almost kind of like a game about being a tourist.
Yeah.
And you can see like the desert land has like the huge pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the ruins in like the water land.
Mm-hmm.
Like everywhere you go, it's like a lot of places just like kind of the ruins and old structures are just kind of built into where people live.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of history everywhere.
Yeah, and it's very interesting.
So yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, and we know that because you can just like if you just kind of can take a pipe down into the sewer system of Rogueport and find buried shit.
Yeah,
everywhere. So I think,
and I know. Oh, you go ahead.
I think that there's definitely a lot that would catch someone's interest. If anything, it's surprising that there isn't like more
focus
on this. Like, I get that it's kind of a fantasy trope of like, oh, this buried thing with like this big door, no one knows what it is.
Follow the Roman Empire
for 1,000 years. But like, if there was like a huge cavern with like of a structure with like a dais and a huge door, there would be like political battles over what happens to this thing.
Yeah.
Like people would be interested in it. It wouldn't just be kind of sitting forgotten under a city.
Yeah. Oh man. I also note that Goombella goes on after this game to be like a full archaeologist. Yeah. In Paper Mario Sticker Star, you can find a paper written by her.
Oh man.
About the Chomp ruins.
It's a shame because in order to learn that, I would have had to play Sticker Star.
Well, you know.
Yeah. No, I haven't heard good things about it.
Nor I, but who knows?
The Paper Mario series went in a weird direction after this one.
Yeah. But that's not what we're talking about here.
No. But yeah, like clearly it's easy to see how someone could take an interest in all of the things and ruins that are kind of like all over this world.
Yeah, this Super Mario world.
Yeah. Also just like, it kind of seems like Super Mario, the universe is like dense with societies.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like if we take it to be the case that none of the games decanonize each other, then there are like all these cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think that it's what's that?
You go ahead. I have a theory.
I was just thinking like it's interesting because I feel like there's probably a similarity to that in how like a lot of places in like pre-colonial eras would have been like.
Yeah, like I was thinking, this feels like a world that's much less, that has a lot less societies colonizing other societies.
Yeah, it does. Because there's a lot of places we never even heard of until like the start of whatever game they're introduced in, which has just been kind of left to its own devices.
Yeah, and that would also fit with the amount of history that everywhere has, because nothing or very little has ever been wiped out or erased.
Yeah, which, like, if you consider that there are, like, a dozen seemingly sovereign places that were introduced just in Super Mario Odyssey, all of which must necessarily have their own, like, cultural, social, and political history. Like, has there ever been, like, a conflict between like a Lake Kingdom and Wood Kingdom? Something Mario would never know or care about. Because it's not relevant to the Mushroom Kingdom. And like there's clearly a lot interesting there to touch on. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, we also kind of think of archaeology from a colonial perspective a lot. And it makes me wonder what it would be like being an archaeologist in this kind of thing. Like, you would
Yeah.
probably have to, like, respect sovereignty more often.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
You couldn't be like a late 19th century British archaeologist.
yeah.
Or even Indiana Jones.
Clearly, like, she's still studying within the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
So it's possible that, like, studies outside of the Mushroom Kingdom could be more of a complex affair. There's probably a lot of politics involved in, like, foreign archaeologists coming to study things.
Yeah. Although, I'm trying to figure out where the Chomp ruins are, because that's the place that she wrote a paper about.
I think that's in Paper Mario.
Paper Mario Sticker Star. Which...
Hold on. Because I think Paper Mario does have ruins.
Yeah.
But they're not the same ruins as from this one.
No.
There's a lot of, like, deserts with ruins in them in this universe.
So, man. The Citizens of Decalburg.
Decalburg?
Okay, so at least part of that game is in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Okay.
Like, the place where it starts is, and possibly the rest of this. So maybe
it could be.
I mean, maybe Goombella specializes in the Mushroom Kingdom, and honestly, in a world this rich with history, you'd have to specialize.
Yeah, probably. So I guess we can probably move on to our next discussion question.
Sounds good.
Which is, does she live in Rogueport?
I feel like there's not a whole lot of evidence either way, which leaves it completely open to us to canonize.
Well, my impression has always been that she's visiting. Like, it kind of looks like Professor Flankley and her have kind of temporary lodgings.
That makes sense.
Goom Yu is clearly not in Rogueport.
Yeah.
I would guess she at least lives in the Mushroom Kingdom. And she probably doesn't live too terribly far from Rogueport.
Yeah, maybe she's, like, on the mainland near where Rogueport is.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
She does have some familiarity with the locations around, like I mentioned.
The University of Goom might be the closest big... I mean, Rogueport probably has something, but, you know.
Yeah, and we don't know how long she and Frankly have been staying there, but it looks like she has... if not, like, been studying the area for a while, have been already familiar with it.
Yeah, definitely.
She doesn't really seem like she's used to the character of the place, though.
She finds it a little seedy.
Yeah. So she's probably from a more, like, wealthy or, like, crime less crimeful area.
Yes, less crimeful.
That's how the word that you use in English to say those things, right?
But yeah, probably an area with a different character.
Yeah, but it would make sense if... I wish I could remember some of her, like, specific comments on areas that we visit in the game. But yeah, I think it would be reasonable to assume that she doesn't that she's not from...
She's not from Rogueport.
What kind of person is from Rogueport anyway?
Rogues.
Yeah, I guess so. It seems like a little bit of a slum.
Yeah, it's... Oh, interesting.
What?
Piantas live there. Along with a lot of other species. The wiki page says, bandits, baboms, boos, craws, dugans, goombas, humans, piantas, squeaks, toads, koopa troopas, and various other and unknown races.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. It was built by generations of poor folk after the battle between the four heroes and the Shadow Queen. So it was a place, and the area was barren and in ruins, so the people built Rogueport over the old city, which is now Rogueport sewers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, shit, if I lived near that, I'd probably be an archaeologist, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a poorer area, even after, generations.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if that was like 1,000 years ago, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there is actually like a city underneath.
Yeah, there's the old city that has... I mean, no wonder she's come here for that, right?
Yeah, it's like New York in Futurama.
Yes.
So, yeah. So she's probably an outsider to Rogueport, but probably has some familiarity with it. Mm-hmm. And it definitely does seem like the kind of place that you'd be interested to come specifically to study it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that we can
move on to our last question.
Yeah. All right. Our last question. Question 4. How do clothes...
4 question marks?
Yeah, I did put 4 question marks. So, to explain...
Yeah,
so,
Goombella.
Well...
Oh, boy.
So, you probably know what a Goomba is shaped like.
Yeah.
It's kind of a mushroom shape. They've got big round heads with kind of small, kind of round bodies with 2 big feet.
Yeah.
She has Homestar arms.
Yes.
Which is to say, she can like hold things with invisible arms.
We gotta assume all Goombas can do this.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no explanation, but
that's just the thing they can do.
I think it's reasonable to call them Homestar arms.
It absolutely is. No, that.
So, Goombella wears a pith helmet kind of thing, with like a light in it.
Yeah, the standard archaeological thing you think of.
She has a tie.
Yes,
and she has what I can only assume to be some kind of shirt. Her torso has been swaddled, yes, covered completely in some kind of garment, and then she just has shoes.
Yeah, and the garment is the same color as the pith helmet.
Yeah, which I commented in our early discussion. It looks like she's wearing like a sack. In the Goomba's design, the body is clearly small. It's not a large, like, significant element.
No, it's
so
teeny.
Clearly, in design terms, they meant to kind of suggest like
a shirt of some kind.
They meant to suggest an outfit without bringing you to look too closely at it.
Yeah,
which worked.
Yeah.
Until we decided to do a podcast about this character, then it stopped working.
Yes.
Which I think is reasonable. I mean, if you were going to clothe a Goomba, I don't know how you could do much better.
Yeah,
than this. But how is it worn? Okay, so
yeah,
when you think of a sack,
yes,
one thing that a sack is specifically known for is having only one hole.
Yes,
she has feet.
Yeah,
so that's clearly impossible.
No, yeah, I'm thinking of this. I'm thinking of kind of a bodysuit leotard type of thing, where like you just wrap it around you like put your feet through, and then you wrap the rest just around the little Goomba body, and just the neck hole just provides the out for the head.
Yeah, I did a quick comparison of Frankly.
Yes,
who I think that is also an article of clothing. He is less adorned.
No, yeah,
but he appears to have some kind of a white garment
or gray.
Yeah,
it's the same color as his hair, so.
Which, because I was curious, because there's a real double standard, where male cartoon characters are often allowed to go naked.
Yeah.
Which is odd. It's the more you think about it, the more odd it becomes.
Yeah, and like, for instance, Goombario, the sidekick from the first Paper Mario game, just has this kind of yellow body.
Oh, he's definitely naked.
He is. He's probably naked. Yeah.
That does not strike me as a. Hold on.
That's basically the same as just a regular Goomba looks like.
To be honest, like the original characters in the first Paper Mario, I think all the Goombas maybe were the same. So maybe that's not entirely fair. Professor Frankly has like his big design accessory is these like crazy eye goggle things.
Yeah, these spinny glasses like in anime.
Yeah, which don't have like a visible bridge.
That's true. They're just 2 circles next to each other, but
his eyes are kind of close together.
And he doesn't have a nose.
Clearly, having a coherent design was more important than having a sensical outfit.
Yeah.
And Goombas are mostly head.
Yes.
So it makes sense that the focus would be that accessory. Like, the tie is doing more heavy lifting on Goombella's design than the sack.
Absolutely it is. The tie is such a splash of personality.
So, go over how you're saying like a bodysuit type thing.
Yeah, like, okay. You imagine something with 3 holes in it, right? 1 at the top, 2 at the bottom.
Right.
You stretch open the top hole, slip your feet in, and just pull the garment all the way up over the body, and just let it close on the neck. Assuming Goombas have necks.
That definitely wouldn't work for the material it is suggesting this is made of.
Yeah. Like that would have to be spandex or something.
It absolutely would. Which a spandex archaeologist's outfit
doesn't sound great. I admit.
What is an archaeologist?
I mean, khaki
outfit. It is. Yeah, I'm getting like. Oh goodness.
That's a sexy archaeologist Halloween costume.
Of course it is. You know what? Do archaeologists actually wear this?
Well, I mean that seems like a reasonable doubt, and it's pretty much khaki.
Okay, so this one does look real.
And to be fair, there are green khakis like this that people would actually wear.
A lot of these in these pictures are women, which is interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of them appear to be wearing khaki pants.
Yeah.
Which they don't seem to have. I don't know where the tie comes from, actually. I've never questioned it before, but a tie is not like part of the classic archaeologist outfit.
Yeah, it could be. It kind of reminds me of an ascot, which also isn't, but is closer. Like, it's the kind of thing that you could wear, like, kind of tied around your neck to help with dust storms if you're out in the desert. And this is a very deserty outfit, despite Rogueport being very not that.
Yeah, well, you probably do go to a desert at some point. You always go to a desert
true.
In Mario games. I can't remember for sure, though.
That's true.
I guess... Because I'm thinking.
Yeah.
When you have a Goomba, you're like, you have this animal.
Yeah.
This made-up animal. Like, we have decided that we want to make this character an archaeologist. We have to...
Yeah.
We have to dress her. We have to make her look the part.
Yeah, visually indicate archaeologist.
Yeah. So which means that when they put this outfit together, they must have had some reference image, right?
Yes.
And the question is,
sense.
Like, what were they looking at? Were they looking at something like this? Or were they looking at something... Were they using, like, a movie reference?
Oh, the thing is, her helmet, the light on it, makes me feel like it's supposed to be a more underground mining thing, which would make sense with, like, her going down into the sewers,
But a miner would not wear an ascot.
No, but I mean, you could still, have something to...
I just googled archaeologist ascot, and it's not really producing, like...
No, those are anime characters.
Hold on. This does... What does Professor Layton look like? No, that's not...
No, that is definitely...
I feel like a Professor Layton design sensibility is kind of closer to what they're going for here than like a real life outfit.
Yeah. Anyway, it does look good and sell the idea.
It's weird because it doesn't seem weird until you actually start like looking close at it.
Yeah.
Like, where did these individual like a helmet with a light on it?
Yeah.
And a like khaki sack.
Yeah.
And an ascot or tie.
Yeah. She's also got a big old ponytail.
Yeah, she does have a big old ponytail, but that's
that's for girl.
That's for girl. I mean that's not unusual for like a college student. She's probably her early 20s.
Yeah, definitely. It says she's a second-year co-ed student, so maybe 19 in human, maybe 20.
Yeah. How long do you spend learning archaeology in college?
I mean, if you're going for your doctorate, that would be 8 years.
Ooh.
But that's, to be fair, she might be in her second year of, doctoral studies or whatever, the post-grad.
She's at the latest, she couldn't be older than like 25.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, somewhere in that area.
But yeah, like if you described the design element, what are you laughing at?
I cannot say because your mom listens to this podcast.
Okay. Moving on. If you describe these design elements to me individually, like the helmet with a light on it, the khaki sack, and the red ascot, I would say that's nothing.
Yeah.
And yet
you put them all together.
I never once questioned what they were going for here.
Yeah.
So clearly they did their job.
They did.
It's an impressive design, even if I'm a little confused as to how the process of dressing yourself works.
I mean, when you got Homestar arms, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. So are we pretty finished with this one?
I think that we've we've taken this about as far as it can go, I think.
All right, ranking time.
Let's rank her. So let's start in the middle with Flood. Above or below Flood?
Definitely above Flood.
Yeah, that's fair. They're both kind of characters, and they both have mechanical uses. In terms of mechanical use, Flood is probably more important, but Goombella is more of a character by leaps and bounds.
Oh, absolutely.
She's more of a character, really, than a lot of the partners in Paper Mario 1. I'd say. So, yeah. I'd say probably above Dry Bones, no question.
Absolutely, no question. She digs up Dry Bones.
Yeah. Probably above Bunt.
Above Bunt.
I think that she's destined for the top. Let's just skip ahead a little bit. What about paintings?
I would... Paintings are interesting, but yeah, she's enough of a character that I would put her above the interestingness of paintings.
I feel like our ranking is going to pretty quickly cease to be coherent. Like, what's better, the concept of a magic painting that goes to another world, or
an adorable, sassy college student who's also a Goomba?
How do you rank those two things? But I think you're right. I would place her above. I think Phanto is where it's we're getting stiff competition. So what do you think?
Phantos are really Phanto is a legendary type of character.
Phanto is
not even. But the thing is, of course, the Phanto isn't a character.
Phanto is a legendary Pokemon.
Kind of feels like it, yeah. And is also a mad dead god from another universe. Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Well, before we resolve that, to help us kind of get more information about how we're going to rank this, what about compared to Professor Elvin Gadd?
Now, that's interesting, because, in terms of characters, I would definitely say I like Goombella more. But Professor Gadd gets a lot more appearances and is definitely more important to the overall arcing story, especially to our lore in the overall arcing story, which is the most important thing.
So what are we putting higher? Are we putting likability or importance?
It's a good question. There's so many different things to weight in this system.
All right. So I'm going to, between Elvin Gadd and Goombella, I'm going to just count down from 5, and before I get to 0, you're going to shout out a name. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Goombella.
1. All right. She's at the top then.
She's at the top.
That when you got a gun to your head, you just got to pick one. I think that puts it.
That does it.
So, all right. I'm going to have to remember the gun to the head method for forcing a ranking choice.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna get to be the one counting down.
You are, because I am the indecisive one,
and also because I thought of it.
Yeah.
All right. So that was good. We have put another character of a new number 1.
Yes.
We think Goombella's great.
She's great.
Yeah, she's a fun character. She has a lot of personality.
Yeah.
It's a little bit unfair because RPG characters are just more written in general.
Yeah, but to be fair, Egad also shows up in the RPGs. So.
Yeah. And he just doesn't quite have the same charisma.
Yeah.
But he is important.
He is
deservedly at number 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's going to be all for today.
Yeah.
All right. See you later.
Stay in archaeology school.